Hey, welcome to the Wednesday edition of The Rundown. My name is Mike Poworski, and welcome to Hump Day!
Hump Day!
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
I don't do this show by myself. Let me immediately hand you off to my co-host.
That would be me. I am Craig DeLuz, and it is my pleasure to be here with y'all on Hump Day. Get you through the middle of your week.
Hump Day! Mike. Hump Day! Again, every Wednesday I'm going to tell you this. Favorite Geico commercial ever. I mean, besides Scoop,
Yes.
there it is.
We got to find a way to get. We have to pick a day
Yeah.
when we're gonna do it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe how about this? Maybe one day I don't know. We got to figure out a way to do this where we can include Scoop. There it is, because it's just too good not to.
We'll do it. We will do it. We'll find a way. We will find a way. Craig, speaking of finding a way, John Kerry. You remember John Kerry, right? The former Senator John Kerry, the former war hero John Kerry. I don't want to give you that he's not a war hero, but
I'm sorry, you mentioned John Kerry, and I think I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
what did it taste like ketchup? Because he's married into that dynasty. So I'm just saying, the whole the Heinz clan right there. So
Heinz.
Heinz,
Right.
Heinz. I think he was the sergeant on Hogan's Heroes, wasn't it? No, that was Schultz. I'm sorry.
Schultz.
That was Sergeant Schultz. Not
I
Sergeant
know
Heinz.
nothing. I
Much
see
like John
nothing.
Kerry, who knows nothing. Well, it was revealed this week from some leaked audio tape that came out of the Iranian foreign minister's office. And listen, this is comedy gold here. This could be on Star Search or America's Funniest Home Videos, or whatever you want to, whatever the shows out there that play video clips now. This could be it. Everything that they were accused of, like, listen, I'm pretty sure that guy's dirty and he's doing stuff behind closed doors that he shouldn't. Well, this week it was found out when the Iranian prime minister there got up on stage. It was having looks like a private conversation with another diplomat, and just absolutely revealed that, John Kerry used to come in here all the time, and he's like, oh, listen, that stuff that just happened to you? Yeah, Israel did that. Yeah, no, it was them. Totally sold out our number one ally in the Middle East, Israel, because of, listen, President Obama, listen, with a name like Barack Hussein Obama, it's not too hard to figure out where his loyalties are.
Well, what's crazy about it is you think about it. There were three main takeaways from this whole conversation. The first was that, dude said over 200 times he ratted out. He was like, oh yeah, no, yeah, those 200 times you got jacked up. Yeah, that was all Israel. That was all Israel. It wasn't us. It was all Israel. They just jacked you up. Yeah, in case you were wondering, yeah, it was Israel. The other thing was that, dude wasn't really running Iran. Because every time something bad happened, or every time they didn't want to say happened, that was always the what they call it, the Revolutionary Guard. They were the ones.
That's right. He said the Revolutionary Guard did it. And I don't have much control over them. They just do what they want. And then the third thing, which I thought was great, he said, listen, when President Trump killed General Salami there, that did more to set us back than if you had blown up one of our major cities. Totally. So Trump whacking Salami, the major general there from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, was an amazing blow to them.
Exactly.
And immediately, listen, we all saw how the media and the left dismissed that as that's an American act of terrorism on foreign soil. Give it a rest, okay? We're so tired of your crap. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's just come on now. Look, the thing that's funny is, so here you have the representative of a liberal or a Democratic administration basically selling out our allies, and then you have a representative of a conservative government actually dealing a blow to one of our strategic enemies in the world.
Yes.
And you know what? The mainstream media will never pick it up and never talk about it.
No, never. Even though there's audio, there's tape of this. There's the audio tape. There's the video watching this. You can hear the audio while they're there. This was never meant for publication. It got shared. It's been printed. It's been released over in the UK. But you're right, Craig. We may never hear about that here in this country. Some other things, Craig, we may never hear about. are what professors say in the classroom. Craig, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. I know it's like this in Florida. It's probably like this in many, many other states. You for the most part, you could record what a professor says, and it's always been this way, during their lecture. So you could use that as an individual to go back to your room, either with your classmates or not, to study the professor's. It's basically that's your notes. It's your audio notes that you took of the class. Well, professors have become in recent years more and more careful and up in arms about people recording them, because they do not give their consent to have that audio tape rebroadcast in any manner or played for anybody else's use except the student that recorded it. Craig, can you guess why that is?
Oh, because they're probably going to say some things that they shouldn't say, and things they know that they should say. Things that if they were to become public, they might wind up losing their job.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Well, Florida has decided that they want to put an end to that disparity in recordings. Now, there's a state representative down here, Spencer Roach. He's a retired military guy. He's out of the Fort Myers area, North Fort Myers area. He put forth a bill that says, listen, if you teach in a public university and you work for the government because you work for the state of Florida and the Board of Regents, then guess what? Everything you do is available for the public. So they can record it, and if they choose to use it just their notes, that's great. If they choose to use it to expose your extreme liberal crap that you're lying about, they can do that too. So this is currently hitting the Florida House here, and passing through the Senate, passing through the House. We'll see how this goes. Let's see if this changes the attitudes of any of these far left whack jobs that think they can take mind control games over your students.
Well, I'll tell you, and for the longest time in education, whether it's been at the K-12 level or even at universities, a lot of teachers, a lot of instructors have hid behind tenure. And they've hid behind it in such a way. It used to be because you wanted professors to be able to talk about controversial things, to bring about controversial topics, and really kind of challenge their students to do more, be more, and have those sorts of open debates. But what it's turned into now is you have many professors who bring in their biases, and they literally are not just preaching their faith of hate to their students, but at the same time they're also grading them that if you don't regurgitate that faith of hate, if you don't regurgitate the anti-American, anti-capitalist mantra that they're putting out there, well, then you're not going to succeed in their class. And ultimately, for the longest time they've gotten away with it because even though students said it, people didn't really get it. But now, with the ability to be able to broadcast it, to be able to put it out there, people are going to see it and they're going to revolt. Kind of much the same way you have people now recording things that happen, interactions with law enforcement, and you see people are getting angry, upset because they're seeing what's going on. And, well, by the way, one of the things also happening with a lot of those things being recorded is you're actually seeing that, some of these people who are being shot and dealing with law enforcement are probably getting what they deserve. But what they're finding out is, in the end, they don't want what they're saying and what they're doing behind closed doors to be revealed.
And again, much like the same with law enforcement, law enforcement has been deemed, for years and years now that you can record them as long as they're not doing some secret investigative thing or you're looking into case files. You can record a law enforcement officer taking his action in the public. You're allowed to do that. But evidently not a professor who's on a public property and he's a public employee. You've never been allowed to do that before and expose that. So clearly the double standard, clearly it's going to be taken away from them. And I'm actually looking forward to it, having some of these professors have to stand tall in front of the man with their nonsense.
Right. But see, they've gotten away with it because they're woke and law enforcement isn't woke.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see, if you're woke,
and like
if you're woke, it ain't no joke, bro.
Like our guest Earl said yesterday, you got woke and now you're going to go broke because it's going to be exposed. You're going to lose your job. You ain't going to have no money,
on the
honey.
unemployment line.
Yeah.
How you lose your job on your day off?
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
You
Let's
ain't
see.
got
I mean,
to
if we're just throwing
lie.
movie quotes out there. If we're just throwing them out there. Let's see. Craig, this kind of just rolls right into social media. What we're seeing going on with social media here recently. A story out of Amoland, good friend of ours, John Petrolino, wrote a story about how the most innocent of pictures got covered up. And I'm not supposed to say where it is, but it rhymes with Facebook. All right, let's just say that. All right, it rhymes with Facebook. Oh, did I say it? I said it. Crap. You have a lot of things on Facebook that are immediately put up there. Listen, first off, if you put the word Biden in it, they're gonna immediately throw on there it's partially true or it's partially false because they don't want you spreading anything about him whatsoever, and they know nobody's posting good memes about Joe Biden. Isn't that amazing?
Huh?
Tell me if you've ever seen a good meme about Joe Biden.
Where am I?
Yeah.
Where am I?
Never seen a good meme
Where's
about
my
that man.
tapioca?
So as soon as Biden
tapioca?
pops up, they pop it on there. Only man in history, by the way, folks, to fall up the stairs. Yeah, it's just it happened. It happened. Gerald Ford nailed it coming down. We know that, but Biden going up. He did it, going up the stairs. So now one of the posts was made by John there, Petrolino was a picture of a woman. Kneeling down with just assuming her son, a young child. It looks like about a 10-year-old boy helping them to shoot, right? And it was blocked. It was blocked as being offensive and maybe violent. And you had to go over and click on it to view it. And then when you view it, it says this. I'll let Craig go ahead and show the picture. Show this picture.
So first here's the picture that you see. All right.
Yeah.
So now as he said. You can see here, look, it's a woman with her child teaching him gun safety, how to properly hold and handle this. Now, this is gun control. Share if you agree, right? Now, this is how Facebook covered it up. You see this. It says sensitive content. This photo may show violent or graphic content. Now, let's go back to the photo. Do you see graphic or violent content anywhere in this frigging picture?
I mean, are they shooting homeless manatees or something that we don't see, or what's going? I don't know what's going on there. I don't, how could this be violent or graphic? I have no idea. Other than it doesn't meet their agenda, Craig. It doesn't meet their agenda.
Exactly. And see, this is the sort of stuff that really gets under my skin. Like, I mean, you've seen. I did a piece I had a Facebook post a while ago where they literally fact check. They had a fact check. As soon as I posted it, it was a meme, and they fact checked it, saying that it was inaccurate based on information and statements that were never made anywhere in the particular meme. And I'm like, who are these people? What makes you think that you need to fact check? First of all, we all know that the fact checkers that they use are left-wing, anti-gun wingnuts. Yeah. And so they're not objective third parties. They are very biased third parties. But then you have stuff like this where you're like, I mean, how are people supposed to take you seriously, Facebook, when you do stuff like this?
Listen, Facebook fact checkers are as bad, or if not worse, than the Snopes people. And anytime somebody would come at me and say, well, in Snopes, I'd be like, no, go away. You have no credibility whatsoever. So if you don't know it, look it up, by the way. It's a couple of people that are funded by a liberal think tank that live at home in their house with a bunch of cats on their cat farm, and it's all wrong. It's all wrong.
Yeah.
So
PolitiFact, same thing.
Yeah.
PolitiFact, well, we've already done stories about how bad they are. But I will say this. Now, the times in which I do use them is when they actually call liberals out, because we all know they have a liberal bias. So when they actually call liberals out, we know that at the very least, we know that it's not their liberal bias that's playing a role in what they're saying.
Well, and you look at those stories, they're usually stories not of substance, and it's probably every 15 or 20 stories that they'll pull something like that because they want to be able to say, oh, look, we're not biased. We call out both sides. Oh, yeah, listen, you just called out the liberals for calling the moon, it's white when it's actually kind of gray. It's something so insignificant.
What they do when they quote unquote say that they called you out. So they will send you an email at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. on Thursday night and say,
Yep.
tomorrow morning we're running this piece. Can you send us any information that contradicts this? You show back up at work at 9 a.m. and the piece is already up and running. Their follow through is garbage. They don't actually ask. They don't actually fact check. And what's even worse is they oftentimes don't even really challenge the validity of what it is that you're saying. They just are like, well, we don't believe them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's clear bias. We see that, we see it from, again, just like this post that John was talking about there on Facebook and his AmmoLand story, all the way down through the extremes here. That you just mentioned. It's PolitiFact, it's Snopes, it's everybody else, and it's one-sided and it's biased and it's crap. And folks, how many times do we tell you? Do your own research. Do your own research. And if you see one of these sensitive covered facts, something like that, that should be a flag. Well, I need to be looking into this myself, as opposed to, oh, well, the weatherman says it's going to be 8,000 degrees tomorrow. I guess I'll put the AC on in the house. Yeah, do your own research. Okay.
And by the way, folks, that's why we post the links to the stories that we're talking about. We post those links in the description to these videos because we want you to read it for yourself. We don't want you to just take our take on it. And don't get me wrong, we'll be the first to admit if our take is off.
Yeah,
point it out. We may tell you to go jump in a lake, but
folks, you've seen me do it right here on the show. I have clearly pointed out when Craig has been wrong before. It happens.
And I've clearly pointed out that no, I'm only wrong in that you're wrong, and maybe I was wrong for pointing out that you're wrong.
You know what? You're not wrong, Craig. You're not wrong. Craig, this rolls us
Keep
right
your
into
white privilege to yourself, sir.
Sometimes I like to share the race card with you. Here you go. The drivers, Craig, these people that drive it, if you've seen this, I'm not going to call it by this term. I know you're probably going to mix it in there because you say I'm not hip with the kids today with their with their earbuds and their iPods and all that stuff. But
they're called gig workers, man. They're called gig workers.
Let me get to the story, then I'll give you my opinion on this new term that's out there. All right. First off, if you're a driver for Uber, for Lyft, or Grubhub, I don't care if you're a driver for just flat out Domino's. These people have chosen to start protecting themselves they don't care what's going on with the local policies for Uber, Lyft, whatever service they happen to work for. How many times do we have to see these people have been told, and we talked about this last week with the FedEx shooting, people that are being told, I'm sorry, we're a gun-free organization, because Craig, the gun might jump up and start shooting people in a school zone for no reason. It's crap. These people are making them victims. These corporations are making them victims. These people have chosen to defend themselves, and we've seen this. There's one case that I know of here out of Lakeland, Florida, over the past couple of months, where they tried to carjack an Uber driver, and the Uber driver said, hey, I got something for you. Bah, bah, bah. Take that with you. And the bad guy died there right outside the car. Well, guess what? These drivers are now doing pretty much the mass boycott of their policy by legally carrying, and legally protecting themselves and legally exercising their Second Amendment rights.
Dude, I will tell you. So when I first left the Firearms Policy Coalition full time, and I was a contractor with them, and they were my only client. And then I was in business for myself, and I needed to supplement my income, and I decided, you know what, driving for Uber and Lyft was an easy way for me to supplement my income, to pay for vacations, dude. I've done, but anyway, what I'm saying is that I did that. But guess what? You know what? I carried every single time, because you realize, especially if you're driving at night, you're going into places you may or may not know. You're dealing with situations you may or may not know. You need to be in a position where you can defend yourself. And I would never, ever, 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 ever ask somebody to put their life at risk to do a job and then tell them that they don't have the ability to defend themselves. It is just plain wrong.
There's a meme, and in fact, I'm gonna bring it up for you here real quick. Hold on, let's put this meme up. All right, folks, I want you to look at this picture for a moment while I'm talking about it. And you see what this says? It's the picture on top of the United States, and I think it's 37 states there. It says, places where I'm legally able to concealed carry. And then the bottom one, it has all 50 states shaded in, and it says places I can carry if I'm not a little bitch. Okay. What that means is you've made that decision in your life, whether you want to be carried by 6 or judged by 12. All right. That's what you've done. That's what you've done. I would never tell you to go out and break the law. I'll tell you to make your own decisions, do your own risk assessment, and you protect your family the way you see to protect your family. Okay. That's what that is. So that's exactly what we're talking about. If you've got an organization or a company that says you can't carry, you make that risk assessment, not them.
Well, and Mike, and that's the thing is that what's hard to get some of these folks to understand, or some of the anti-gunners to understand, is, the criminals, the people who are seeking to perpetrate harm and violence upon innocent people, they've made that assessment, and they don't care where they are legally allowed to carry. In most places, they're probably not legally allowed to even own or possess a firearm. But guess what? They have one. They're not allowed. Some places are not allowed to have one with more than 10 rounds. Guess what? They got it. They may not be able to have. They have a firearm and they're carrying it on them. And so, as law-abiding citizens, as an individual with the right, with the fundamental human right to defend yourself, you have to make a decision. Even if the law is not on your side, some people are going to make that decision that exercising my fundamental human right to defend myself and defend my family and defend my community is supersedes the law. And now, and I will always say this: you need to make sure you understand the risk that you're taking legally, because there's consequences if you break the law. But so if you're going to do it, be informed and know what it is. Don't go into it and be like, oh well, I didn't know. No, know exactly. If you're going to do it, know exactly what it is that you're doing, but understand that some people in some situations, that's what they got to do, and they're going to do it. And I understand that that's what they're doing.
Craig, for the record, you and I, neither one of us are attorneys. We're not even paid attorney spokespersons.
Neither one of us slept in a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Exactly. Now, I am a licensed physician assistant in the Philippines, but that's a different story completely. We'll cover that another day.
I always tell people, look, not only am I not an attorney, but most importantly, I'm not your attorney.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, listen, if you want, we could probably give you some group access and give you some Facebook legal advice, because that's non-binding. So we're okay there. I could do that all day long. That's it. Yeah. No, yeah, go right ahead. Do it. Sounds good to me. Yeah, give him Craig's name. Yeah. Craig, I want to jump into the next story here, where there is an issue over whether firearms are legal and firearms are not legal. It's from our good friends in the city of Chicago. What's the Mayor Lightfoot there? First off,
you mean Mayor Beetlejuice?
Yeah, they pay you a salary. See somebody about the hair, get a wig, do something. I'm not trying to make fun of people's personal appearances. I would never do that. But
that's Mayor Beetlejuice.
Mayor Beetlejuice, yeah, exactly, yeah. Just don't say it the third time. You've already said it twice. Don't say it again. The city of Chicago has decided that they're going to sue an Indiana gun store because they've tracked down, Craig, that Indiana gun store sells a number of firearms, and that because they sell a number of firearms, and maybe one of them showed up in the city of Chicago after a law-abiding citizen may have had it stolen from them, that now they're going to go after the gun store having sold the firearm that ended up being stolen, that ended up on a crime scene in Chicago. Well, hey, Chicago, first off, if you want to keep guns out of your city, I know it. Let's see, what should you do? I don't know. Follow the laws that are already in place. Put the bad people in jail. How about that? How about that? And if you really want to keep guns out of your city, what you should do is get everybody out of the city. And that's it. That's it, by the way. That's it. That's the only way to do it. It's just, if nobody's in the city, then there's no guns in the city,
I'm
right?
with you, man. Look, here's what I don't understand. Look, so if Indiana's gun laws are so loose that they are creating violence in the city of Chicago, my question is, why isn't there a gang of gun violence in Indiana? Why is it if the mere access to firearms equates to gun violence, then there should be a whole bunch of gun violence taking place in the state of Indiana. But we know that that is, in fact, not the case. What we also know is the case is that if an individual from Chicago goes to Indiana to buy a gun, well, guess what? That gun gets shipped to an FFL in the state of Illinois, and they have to go through all the background checks and whatever laws are in place there that are in place there. Now, if they have a straw purchaser there in the state of Indiana and the individual has been deemed already and been identified as a straw purchaser, well, then why hasn't that person been arrested?
Yeah, listen, the only way this is real is if the people are leaving the Indiana gun shop and outside they're telling them, listen, if you aim the gun at about a 17-degree angle right here off the horizon, you can hit Chicago. Go ahead and pull the trigger. Because other than that, there's no way for any of this to be real. The people are conducting background checks in the 4473. Well, my God, Craig, if they're doing the background check, then we know they're never going to do anything wrong in the future, because that's the reason we have background checks, to predict the future. Hey, listen, all background checks do is tell you about the past. They don't tell you about the future. But they did their background checks. So guess what? If you want to go buy a handgun in Indiana, the only people that can buy handguns in Indiana are Indiana residents that are not disqualified from owning a handgun. If you want to buy a long gun, in Indiana, you could be a resident of the United States, but where you live, so if you're from Chicago, you can't buy an AR because you can't have an AR in the city of Chicago. They can go out and buy, a bolt-action hunting rifle. They could buy, a grandpa-style shotgun, but it's not happening. And just like you said, Greg, if somebody in Chicago wants to buy that firearm and they buy it through the loophole online, well, guess what? They ship it to another dealer,
The loophole.
and that dealer has to do the same background check.
Got to put it through the loophole.
Put it through the loophole right here.
Put it through the
Just
loophole
reach
right
inside the loophole and pull out the gun, just like that. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. I got it out of the loophole. It's absolutely garbage and crap. And you know what? I was going to take a shot at Indiana, but it's not worth it. It's Chicago's fault.
It's not.
It's Chicago's fault. It's Chicago's fault. Yeah, it's clearly Chicago's fault. Craig, listen. Again, I love my Chicago folks. You know why? Because they're on a mission from Gad. Right there. Right. Hey, Craig, bonus points if you can tell me the address to Wrigley Field.
I don't watch baseball, so I could not tell you.
It's the address that the Blues Brothers gave as their home address, if you recall that.
It's been so long since I've seen that movie. Yeah.
1060 West Addison Street, by the way.
1060 West Addison.
I give it as my address. Anytime somebody asks me for my address and I don't want them to know the home address, I tell them it's 1060 West Addison Street. And I tell them it's in Orlando, not Chicago, but that's what I do.
So so next time we're out and I hear you say that, now I will get the joke.
Yeah. Thinking back on it, you've heard me say it before.
I have. That's what's so funny.
Love my Chicago. You guys are the best. You guys are the bomb. We're on a mission from Gad together. So this brings us to our parting shot, Craig. Can you bring up our little parting shot here? I want people to see our parting shot.
You guys, now, okay.
I like to think that this guy bought his firearm in Indiana and used it in Chicago. By the way,
I would like to think that he did, but I have to. Well, I have a confession after we play the video, so
okay.
I'll run it and then check it out.
All right, here we go.
Put my shit back on this fucking porch. Yeah. I saw you when you got out the motherfucking car. You tried it. Put my shit back on this motherfucking porch.
Sure.
You done lost your motherfucking mind.
bad
You gonna
on
come
that.
up on my shit and
You got
take
it.
my shit.
You got it.
You lucky.
You got it.
You lucky.
You got it.
Motherfucker. You see this motherfucker just tried to take the
Yeah, I
package
see
off
him.
the porch?
Yeah.
Right in front of me like the motherfucker window ain't open.
camera.
Like I'm not sitting there watching your stupid ass on my...
I'm sorry. Perhaps we should have probably put a PG-13 or TVMA warning on the language on that one.
Yes, listen, I can quote about 90% of this video, but there's some parts I can't. I'm not allowed to quote. It's a certain time of day where I'm not allowed to quote that anymore. So,
Well, okay, before we get into discussion about it, I have a confession. So when we were going back and forth and we were talking about the show, and I actually meant to send this to you to see if we should use it as a parting shot. I'm like in the middle of, I'm on Facebook Marketplace and I'm looking for someone who had a really nice like outdoor patio set with a fire pit, right? And I got all these like different threads open. I just copied and pasted it and I sent it to him.
Yeah. Yeah, and you told me that. And what was my response to you?
Oh, it was either you're never going to hear from them again or someone's going to give you a free fire pit.
Because they're afraid now. They're afraid you're going to roll up on them and just, oh, yeah.
Oh, man. But you know what? The point is this, look, the right to defend yourself is universal. I don't care what your care what your race, your gender, your socioeconomic status, your age. I don't care. The right to defend yourself is inalienable. It's a human right. And this is the dude who's like, by the way, it's not just to defend yourself and defend your property.
Yes.
And that's all
in your home and your family. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
See, I'm going to tell you what, the young cat who ran up on his porch and tried to snatch his stuff, I will bet you dollars to donuts that he's going to think twice before he decides to roll up on somebody's porch and do that again.
Listen, he was running up that nice white snow-covered walkway, and if you look on the way back, there was a poop trail. This guy had pooped himself. When this old man came out that door with an AR and went, cacao, and just cracked it back. Oh yeah.
Put it back on my porch.
Put it back. Yeah, up on my porch. Oh yeah. Yeah, he did him good.
But that also speaks to the millions of times in America where a firearm is used to defend one's self, one's family, or one's property that don't get reported to law enforcement, that most people don't even know about. Like that was an instance where, and thank God he didn't have to actually shoot somebody to protect himself or his property. Right. I'm not advocating shooting somebody for stealing something off your porch, but what I am saying is that he protected his property because he was in the possession of a firearm.
Exactly right. Or came out and said
he was in possession, not in the possession of. He was in possession of a firearm.
He came outside. He's like, "Have you met Betsy? Cacao."
Cacao.
And that young man was like, "I'm out." He's like, "No, bring it back. Put it on my porch. You know what? Sweep my driveway. I want you to shovel my driveway too." He could have got that guy to shovel the snow off the driveway and probably got him to wax the car in the snow. He probably could have got that guy to do all that stuff for him.
Yes, he could have.
Oh,
hey, folks, that's going to be it for this episode. I think we're having entirely too much fun.
Yeah, you know what? But that's a good sign, right? That we're having fun and we're bringing you today's news and conservative news and two-way views, baby. That's what we bring to you. So please go to us, check everything out. Like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube. Tell your friends, share it around town. We need you to like, share, and subscribe. Share, and subscribe.
Folks, look, check it out. When we get to 100 subscriptions on YouTube, we're going to have some goodies to give away. But we got to get there. So we need you to help us get there. So please remember to subscribe, especially on YouTube. Y'all doing good on Facebook. We need more, though. We need more.
That's it. So have a good hump day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Talk to you guys later.